Let's talk about nuclear tests. When you hear the phrase, you might imagine secretive government operations, high-stakes decisions, and the ever-present threat of unimaginable power. You probably picture old footage of mushroom clouds, explosive nuclear tests, the ultimate display of destructive power. These iconic images have shaped our collective memory of the nuclear age, symbolizing both scientific achievement and existential risk. But here's the twist. The United States hasn't done one of those since 1992. The era of above-ground and underground nuclear detonations is, for now, a thing of the past. So when politicians mention nuclear testing today, they're usually talking about something much less dramatic: subcritical tests. These are far less visible, but still crucial to national security and scientific research. Think of it as checking the engine without ever starting the car. Scientists and engineers are making sure everything works, but without the risk of a catastrophic ignition. Subcritical means below critical, no self-sustaining chain reaction, no explosion. The process is carefully controlled, with layers of safety and oversight. Scientists use real nuclear materials, but the setup is designed to stop short of a nuclear blast. They gather data on how materials age, behave, and interact under stress. It's a way to study the most dangerous materials on Earth without triggering disaster. This research helps ensure that existing weapons remain safe and reliable even as they grow older. This distinction matters for global politics. The difference between explosive and subcritical tests is at the heart of international trust and suspicion. Explosive tests are banned by treaties and international norms. The Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, for example, aims to prevent any new nuclear explosions worldwide. Subcritical tests, though, exist in a gray area. They're not outright banned, but they're watched closely by the international community. They let countries maintain their arsenals without breaking the no-explosion rule. This allows for ongoing maintenance and modernization, even as explosive testing is off-limits. The US can claim it's upholding the moratorium on nuclear explosions, while still keeping its arsenal ready. It's a way to reassure allies and deter adversaries, all within the letter of the law. It's a controversial balancing act: non-proliferation versus national security. Critics argue it undermines the spirit of disarmament, while supporters say it's essential for safety. Subcritical tests are the tightrope walk of modern nuclear policy, requiring careful steps to avoid disaster, political or literal. Understanding this difference is key to making sense of today's nuclear debates, and to grasping how nations navigate the complex world of nuclear weapons in the 21st century. To understand today's nuclear policy, let's rewind to the post-World War II era, the golden age of nuclear testing. This was a time when the world was gripped by both awe and fear of atomic power, and nations raced to harness its destructive potential. The atmosphere was charged with a sense of possibility, but also with deep anxiety about what these new weapons could mean for humanity's future. From 1945 to 1992, the US conducted over 1,000 nuclear tests, mostly in the Nevada desert. These tests transformed remote landscapes into proving grounds for the most powerful weapons ever created, and the desert became a symbol of both technological progress and existential risk. These weren't just science experiments, they were geopolitical messages, each mushroom cloud a warning to rivals. Every detonation was a demonstration of strength, a signal to allies and adversaries alike that the balance of power could shift in an instant. Tests ranged from bombs dropped from planes to underground detonations, with scientists and military officials constantly pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The variety of tests reflected the urgency and creativity of the era, as well as the willingness to take enormous risks. Even bizarre ideas like using nukes to dig harbors or reshape landscapes were seriously considered, as the world tried to imagine peaceful uses for this terrifying technology. Early atmospheric tests spread radioactive fallout far and wide, contaminating land and water, until public outcry led to the 1963 Limited Test Ban Treaty, pushing tests underground. The dangers of fallout became impossible to ignore, and the world began to demand change. Underground tests shook the Earth but kept the fallout contained, marking a new phase in nuclear experimentation. Seismic waves replaced radioactive clouds, but the threat remained ever present beneath the surface. This era was about brute force science, driven by Cold War fear and the relentless pursuit of military superiority. Scientists and generals worked side by side, racing against time and each other. Eventually, the world realized that constant nuclear detonations were a bad idea. The environmental and human costs became too great to ignore, and global protests grew louder. The shift underground was just the first step toward ending explosive testing altogether. It marked the beginning of a long journey toward restraint and international cooperation. The arms race continued, but the world was slowly waking up to the risks. The legacy of this era still shapes our nuclear policies today, reminding us of both the power and the peril of the atomic age. So why did the US stop explosive nuclear testing in 1992? The Cold War ended, and the main justification for constant testing vanished. With the Soviet Union gone, the arms race lost its urgency. Arms control advocates pushed for a global test ban, arguing that no tests meant no new weapons. The US declared a moratorium, and other nuclear powers followed. This set the stage for the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, CTBT, in 1996, aiming to ban all nuclear explosions. The US signed but never ratified the CTBT, yet still abides by its terms. Since then, only North Korea has broken the global taboo on explosive testing. The de facto ban is a fragile but powerful pillar of non-proliferation. The challenge, now, how to maintain a nuclear arsenal without ever setting one off. With explosive tests off limits, scientists needed a new way to check the aging arsenal. Enter subcritical tests, experiments that use real plutonium and high explosives, but never cross the line into a nuclear explosion. These tests happen deep underground at the Nevada National Security Site, in a facility packed with sensors and diagnostic gear. The explosives compress the plutonium, and scientists collect a flood of data in a split second before everything vaporizes. The goal: understand how plutonium behaves as it ages, and make sure old warheads will still work if needed. Subcritical tests provide real-world data to validate the computer simulations that now drive nuclear weapons science. It's a reality check for the virtual world of nuclear physics. The US arsenal's reliability now depends on these silent, non-explosive experiments. Subcritical tests are feats of precision engineering, all happening in sealed underground chambers, far beneath the surface. These facilities are designed to contain every aspect of the experiment, ensuring absolute safety and secrecy. Here, the world's most sensitive science unfolds, hidden from view but crucial to national security. Scientists use a small amount of plutonium, surrounded by real high explosives, to mimic the first instant of a nuclear detonation, without ever reaching a chain reaction. The process is meticulously planned, with every variable controlled to ensure the experiment never crosses the threshold into an actual nuclear explosion. The amount of plutonium is carefully kept below the critical threshold, so there's no explosion. The point? Data. Every test is a treasure trove of information, revealing how materials behave under extreme conditions that are otherwise impossible to replicate. High-speed X-rays and sensors capture every nanosecond of the implosion, recording the tiniest details of the event. These advanced diagnostics allow scientists to see inside the heart of the experiment, tracking shock waves, material movement, and energy release in real time. This data is fed into supercomputers at national labs, where massive simulations model every detail of a nuclear blast. These digital recreations are so detailed, they can predict how a weapon would perform, right down to the atomic level, without ever lighting a real fuse. But simulations are only as good as the data behind them. Without real-world experiments, even the most powerful computers would be guessing, not knowing. Subcritical tests anchor these models in reality, letting scientists certify the arsenal's reliability without ever pushing the big red button. It's a way to ensure that, if the unthinkable ever happened, the weapons would work as intended. No surprises, no failures. It's like running a crash test in slow motion, then using the footage to improve your car's safety. Each test is a learning opportunity, a chance to refine and perfect, without risking disaster. The result: confidence in the stockpile, without the environmental and political fallout of real explosions. The landscape remains untouched, and the world remains unaware of the silent science happening below. Subcritical tests are the backbone of modern nuclear stewardship. They are the invisible shield, protecting the nation's deterrent and ensuring peace through preparedness. They keep the arsenal ready, quietly, invisibly, and with scientific precision. Every test, every simulation, is a step toward a safer world. The age of the mushroom cloud has given way to the age of the supercomputer. Today, science ensures security, not with thunder and fire, but with data, algorithms, and the quiet hum of machines. The Stockpile Stewardship and Management Program, SSMP, is the U.S. answer to maintaining nuclear weapons without explosions. It's a three-part system: subcritical tests, supercomputing, and advanced experimental facilities. Supercomputers like Sierra and El Capitan run mind-boggling simulations of nuclear detonations, all in virtual space. Facilities like the National Ignition Facility use lasers to recreate the extreme conditions inside a bomb. Every component, from electronics to explosives, is tested and analyzed for aging. Data from experiments feeds the simulations, which in turn guide maintenance and upgrades. Each year, scientists certify to the president that the arsenal is safe and reliable. It's a never-ending cycle of science, all to answer one question: will it work if it has to? Subcritical tests may seem like a diplomatic win: no explosions, no fallout. But they're not without controversy. Some countries argue these tests still help modernize arsenals and skirt the spirit of the CTBT. The US insists subcritical tests are legal, since there's no self-sustaining chain reaction. Critics, including Russia and China, claim these tests could be used to develop new weapons, fueling mistrust. Accusations fly on all sides, making arms control even harder. The debate over subcritical tests is a microcosm of the larger struggle: security versus disarmament, trust versus suspicion. Subcritical testing is the scientific backbone of a massive U.S. project, modernizing the entire nuclear arsenal at a projected cost of $1.7 trillion. The goal is to replace aging warheads, missiles, and delivery systems with safer, more reliable versions. Supporters say this is essential for deterrence. Critics call it an expensive relic of the Cold War. Opponents argue the money could be better spent elsewhere, and that modernization could spark a new arms race. Arms control advocates worry it sends the wrong message: rebuilding instead of reducing. Subcritical tests make this overhaul possible without breaking the test ban taboo. The future of U.S. nuclear policy hangs in the balance. Today, the world has moved past the era of mushroom clouds, but nuclear weapons aren't going away. Subcritical testing and supercomputers let nuclear states keep their arsenals indefinitely, quietly, and with scientific precision. This stability comes at a cost. It entrenches the divide between nuclear haves and have-nots, making disarmament seem distant. The U.S. is investing trillions to modernize its arsenal, ensuring nuclear deterrence remains central to its security. The spectacle of explosions has been replaced by silent, invisible science. The risks are different now, but just as real. Managing this new nuclear age will require as much vigilance and diplomacy as ever. The world may be quieter, but it's still profoundly nuclear.